Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. And today is a great episode. Before I even continue off with this stranger who here is standing next to me, I'm gonna go ahead and start you off right with a dab of that coffee. Bing. Yes. So let's go ahead and get right to the shits. Our first topic is, our first thing that we're gonna talk about is the fundraiser. So we're all this entire week. Why did I do this? Why did I go like that for some reason?
You're presenting.
Yeah, well, this entire week I should go like that, boom. This entire week we're gonna be doing different games. The theme is fun, dares, and games, which means I'm bringing friends on and we're playing games and we're talking about dares and we're talking about our lives and we're just being people in front of people. So the fundraiser is going to Central Illinois Friends to help people living with HIV, of course people living with AIDS as well. So we're wanting to raise $1,000, and if we manage to achieve that goal, I'm going to get glammed up, magnificently glammed up, guys. I'm going to look flawless. And it's going to be live on Facebook and Instagram. And if you don't have me on your Facebook or Instagram, my Facebook is Dion Alexander McNeil, and my Instagram is Dusty Lion. I'm Dusty Lion. And the next item I wanted to talk about was the hoodies. So you guys remember that the Hopeful in Hopeful Hopeful in Victory hoodies are going to be going on sale. They were supposed to go on this week. They're going. I'm recording for the week in advance. Sorry, guys, if you're seeing this. There's going to be bloopers. But this is getting cut. Cut this, Dion. Cut this, future Dion. Those are still being made. The models are being built, and I'm going to be sharing those for you guys to pick. I'm really hoping we can get purple, because I want purple, honestly, for myself. I'm a fucking queen, and I need purple in my life. So, Yeah, exactly, yeah. Special guest here is James. James, can you go ahead and give us a grand introduction of yourself?
Yeah, my name's James. I'm a proud Italian American. I love music. I love tattoos.
He is tatted up, y'all.
I am.
They look pretty awesome. What was your first tattoo?
It's actually up here. It's there's a band called My Chemical Romance.
Oh yeah, I know that band. Yeah.
The Black Parade. You know the marching band leader, the skeleton.
I do. Yes. See,
I kind of just came to share my story and to, support the organization, and it's a good thing.
Yeah. You look a little tense. Roll your shoulders. Roll your shoulders. Get a while. Blah. Now do this. Spin it around and wiggle it out. Spin it. There we go. I think sometimes we just forget that we're still human beings. Yeah, I think it's important that everyone should know their status. Knowing your status is the first step to really kind of having that conversation. I think it's important we learn how to tackle stigma and get rid of it. I think it's such an extremely amazing thing that I get to do this every day and meet such great people and learn their story and share some of their story with the people that watch us every day. To remember to stay hopeful in victory. As I said earlier, we're doing games and dares. So I'm going to go ahead and get my bow. I got a better placement now where I put this at. There's still glitter in there from when Brittany was here and she kind of went gun-ho crazy. That was fun. So I'm really hoping we get that card. But
yeah, I'm mad that I missed out on that.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, if we do get it, there's still six bullets over there. They are unshot. There are 5. I shot one of them the other day, and it was pretty awesome. I'm like, oh man, I just want to shoot the rest of these, but I didn't.
You might get your chance.
She was thinking of you in spirit.
Charade, guess what I am?
Note on forehead. Person has to guess. HIV related. So I think this is where the cards come into play. So I think what I'm gonna do is get a Sharpie, get a card,
okay,
and we're gonna guess. You're gonna write on the card whatever it is. I'm gonna write on it. How does charades work, by the way? Can we get an official? Is there an official here? Anyone? So we just gonna go ahead and shake this up.
Should I pick again? Yeah. Should we really do that?
for the first time. Let me get my cup because I need my tea.
Okay, your flag painting.
Ooh, I'm so happy about that because I actually just got these canvases. So, all right, y'all know what this is. We're going to be painting our flags. So remember, I did this a couple of days ago, actually, with Charvel. And I painted mine as demisexual. It's going to be my color, but I'm going to put a little twist to it. So bear with me while I do that. What's your flag going to be?
I'm going to do bisexual, and mine is also going to have a twist to it.
Ooh, y'all. We in for today. All right, so let's get these tools out. What made you kind of want to get on the show and do this?
From my personal experience, do you want me to go ahead and like tell them?
Do you, boo?
Okay.
Do you, boo?
Okay, so from my personal experience, I have herpes, and when I found, when I first got it, there was a lot of confusion and misconceptions, and I was miseducated, and it didn't really feel like anyone understood or there was any hope to come out of that.
Yeah.
So, knowing what I know now and growing how I have, I definitely want to put that positive light into other people and, encourage them to support one another and, kind of be a living example that, things can happen to you, but, you can grow very positively from them and, it hasn't taken anything away from me. I can still do everything that I could do before.
Heck yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh, wait. Heck yes. Because I got to go bleep that.
That's another good thing that could come out of it. I'll never be able to change the fact that that I have it.
Yeah.
So if I can use it to help others, and it almost, for lack of better terms, makes all that worth it, if I can bring hope to someone else.
I was going to say, hopefully they got, a cure for the both of us, because, man, I don't know, like, would you, if they made a cure, would you go and get it taken care of? Like, would you take the cure?
Yeah, I think so. And it's not that it's that hard to manage. It's just it would be more for the peace of mind of my partner and just not having to worry about being so careful.
Kind of breaking that in a way for you to kind of become more comfortable with yourself, or with all of it there.
Sure. I think it was realizing the reality of it compared to all the misconceptions and how I was falsely educated on it. That really plays into why educating each other and ourselves on this kind of stuff is so important.
Extremely.
Because that ignorance, for lack of a better term, is what makes it out to be such a more impacting thing than it really is.
Yeah.
So when I realized that it's not this terrible thing where you're covered from head to toe in these sores and you can't go out in public and nobody's ever gonna love you again, and it's more just like an inconvenience. That's what I would call it. Mm-hmm. Basically, the bottom line is it's more like having an acne outbreak almost.
Okay.
Most of the year, for example,
mm-hmm.
everything looks and feels completely normal on my body, and then there'll be if I'm having a more stressful week than usual, or just something's going on.
Yeah.
That plays a lot into your hormones and stuff, and that's when something will pop up. And even then, though, it's not super painful. It's not, it doesn't itch. It doesn't. And those were a lot of the things that I was always told about it. That made it seem so bad.
Yeah.
And it's literally just like a skin virus, and at first that can be a little weird when you think about this is going to happen for the rest of my life. It's always going to pop up from time to time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But then when you really see how manageable it is and how, there's not really a lot of shame behind it, because
it shouldn't be.
I don't remember the exact number, but I know it's a very high percentage of the human population carries the virus. It's just only some of us have the form of it where you develop symptoms.
So I think, isn't it pretty much there's two different types of herpes, where it's kind of like the cold sore, things like that, where it appears like every now and then, and sometimes if you like kiss a certain person or interact with a certain person, it can like bring it out because it's dormant in our body.
Exactly, yeah. So there's HSV1, which is orally. It's on your lips, in your mouth, your tongue can go back into your throat, and that's the one that you can spread by, like you said, kissing, or even if you can react a certain way to a certain person if it's dormant in you. And then HSV2 is genital herpes.
Okay. From after learning about it, how did you handle it?
Yeah. So when I first found out, I had gotten like a sore, and I thought it was just from friction from like having sex. It was a new partner. I really never even crossed my mind that that's what it could be. And again, that's because I wasn't properly educated, you know. And so I kind of didn't think much of it. And then, I got another one and another one. And so I was like, okay, this, something's up here. This is a little weird. So I went to the doctor. I got tested, and I got the news. And at first, it was really hard. I felt hopeless. I felt betrayed. I felt, like all the dreams I had, like having a family and, like being in love and
all the things you pictured, felt like they were just kind of
just swept right out from under me. And it wasn't my fault,
No.
Like the person who gave it to me, she knew that she had it and she didn't tell me. And, so, it was like hitting a brick wall almost, just all of that at once. And
if y'all don't know what hitting a brick wall feels like, just walk into a fucking wall, okay?
Yeah, just run as fast as you can. I entered a pretty lonely period, but I think that was necessary for me. Definitely, if you have the right support system early on, I think the progression of processing it and coming to terms with it, it would be very easy.
Yeah.
But I kind of entered like a really lonely period, but I learned a lot about myself. And
did you have that support though in that period though?
Honestly, not really. Because I was still learning about it and learning about the symptoms and how it affected my body, and just like the real facts of it, like the statistics and the truth behind it. And then even as I was learning that, I had to convince myself it was true through experience, And then like I got to the point eventually after like a year and a half or so, I talked to a close friend about it, and
was this the first person you kind of? Okay.
Yeah, and it was it was a very nervous conversation, but when I saw that they literally didn't see me any differently.
Yeah.
After telling them, that's when I was like, okay, maybe I can use this as a chance to educate more people.
Yeah.
In my friend group. And so then I told that person, and then I told his wife, because she was a close friend too. And from there, I got more and more comfortable, and
it's got easier.
Right. And on the flip side of that, like you are gonna have people who, they're not gonna react the way you expect. Like the day before I told my girlfriend, who I'm with now, about it, I told my mom, and it's because I was so scared, like, of that rejection, or the possibility of that rejection.
And like the person like who gave birth to you is like, oh God, like,
right.
If she rejects me, then no way in hell this would be great. Like, it'd be a great outcome.
Right. And she reacted really negatively. She like threw it in my face, and she's like, it's this is your fault. Like, I tried to tell you so many times. Like, basically, I don't feel sorry for you, and I'm okay. But I just wanted to put that out there that there is that possibility that some of the people that you're gonna go to for support aren't gonna understand.
Yeah.
And from my experience, the best thing to do with that is you just got to give them the time and space, and then come back and be like, I'd like to teach you about this. I think you don't understand because you're not living it firsthand. And
and you react in this way, like out of just like not your mom specific, but anyone who just reacts negatively, just kind of go, oh, like, da 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 da, or like, you're gonna do this, and this is why, and this, and all that in the third, and it's like, yeah, you may believe that, but if you can shut your mouth, if you can shut your mouth and just listen to what I'm trying to tell you, because I think I agree with you. It's kind of like not everyone's gonna be accepting, and that's kind of hard to. That's a hard pill to swallow. It really is. I say for myself, like learning that I was HIV positive. That first week, I told my mom and my family. Well, I didn't tell my family, but I told my mom and my friends, my close friends, and it was nerve wracking. But I just needed it because I just knew it was going to eat me out alive. Like, it's a dark place, you know, and it's if I were to experience that rejection, then I'm kind of not sure if I would have been strong enough to really like even go on and just be able to withhold my strength and stay in school and graduate,
Yeah.
I think that's freaking strong of you to be able to do that and to have that conversation with your mom and to be able to say, yeah, you're saying this at this moment, but sooner or later there'll be a time where we can actually have this conversation and it could be good for both of us.
Right. Because you do have to, put yourself in their shoes too,
You do.
If you turn it around and like that person came to you with the same kind of news and you didn't understand
Do you want to get more blue, by the way? Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do whatever we got to do to make it the best product as possible.
Sorry, director. Let's take that. By the way, he's like the director. Like when me and Kayla were doing our shoot,
I have a pink chair.
He was in the back in the director's chair, and he's like, "That's a wrap. That's a wrap." We're like, "All right, let's go." When we getting paid?
It was the night before I told my girlfriend, and I went to my mom, expecting, someone to comfort me and someone to understand, and I didn't get that reaction, so it definitely hurt, and I think it made the next day even more scary for me.
What was that?
Because that was when I told Kayla about it.
Okay.
And she responded really well. And she was understanding because she was educated on it.
Yeah.
So again, that's another thing.
It makes such a difference.
It does. And from that experience with my mom, it did change our relationship. But again, always put yourself in that person's shoes because they don't want to hurt you with their reaction, but they're going to be shocked. They're not going to understand.
Right.
Maybe it comes from a place of being protective, wishing they could have stopped that from happening to you.
And I feel like that's like a lot of the passion or the emotion that's coming from is like, I wanted to protect you, but I couldn't, and like, I don't know how to handle this now.
Right.
And I think that's just like being a parent too.
Yeah, absolutely.
My thing when I had like disclosed, because telling my friends was like, it wasn't hard, but it definitely wasn't easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, when I did tell them, I felt really good with telling them, only because I'm like, okay, if nobody go love me, if I ain't gonna end up with nobody, god damn it, I'm gonna marry one of my friends.
Right.
Like it was like that real. To this day, by which, if I'm not married by the age of 50, I think, like, me and my friends have this, like, contract with each other where we decided to, like, move in together and, like, get a yard and just grow weed and just, like, have, like, a weed farm. Like,
that would be dope.
Right? That'd be so cool. That'd be hella dope.
You get my pun?
Being a parent, like, how did that affect you? Because I know being positive, I was like, wow, I'm never having kids.
Right. The same thing for me. That was like my initial thought. I was like, my God, like, the one thing I wanted in this life more than anything is like gone, and it's not coming back. And that. I'm trying to like think back to how that really hit home because I've grown past it now, and I've learned that that's not, I'm not prevented from doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, at first it definitely, you're going to have that feeling. And it's gonna hurt. And I think the way that I, handled it was just, as I learned more and as I got more acceptance from my loved ones and the people around me, I thought, at least if nothing else, if I can't have that in a normal setting like a marriage or something, you can always, have like a surrogate mother or
there's adoption,
right,
which is huge. Which I'm never against, but there's always kind of like, you always kind of want like a little mini you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I want a little mini Dion. Like, he's gonna be bad as fuck, or she's gonna be bad as fuck. Because I was bad. Like, ooh, my mom would tell you guys. Like, my ass got suspended from like middle school like 6 times. Got expelled.
Yeah.
Like, my mom was up in the school every day whooping my ass, reminding me why I was there. And trust me, it did not work.
Yeah, I'm scared of the karma I have coming.
My kids is gonna bring a whole new hell.
Yeah.
I think the reason why people who are newly diagnosed with HIV or herpes or any type of sexual transmitted virus or disease that's kind of there with them for life, I think the reaction is very much valid. And
yes.
I think that it's because we don't get that education to begin with, and we don't get it until it actually happens, and then it's like, well, fuck, like why wasn't I getting this information before? Like I could have prevented this. Because we don't learn about it at such a young age. We tend to have the outlook that we do when we do find out that we have it, and I hope, and with the help of Central Illinois Friends, that's what they're doing. They're going to different high schools and they're talking about kids. They're talking about sex because that's just real.
How old were you when you found out?
I was 22.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm young.
Yeah, I had just turned 19.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow,
Yep.
You're like much younger than like baby. How did you like take it? Like, what the hell? I was a mess.
Yeah, it was. Basically, it was that perspective. Like, I was only looking at how far I'd come so far, like, and like I was like, this is really where it stopped.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Yeah.
That's not fair. Like,
it isn't.
And what you said about, the proper education. The way that I see, this entire subject is, I think there's 3 parts to the story. In everyone's story, There's what level you were educated on before it happened. There's who you contracted it from, and their side of the story,
yes.
And then there's your side of the story after. Because some people really don't know, and there's a shared responsibility again in those 3 like core points that I made.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility to get tested or talk about testing
yes.
with your partner.
Yes.
They have a responsibility to do the same. Parents and educators have a responsibility to teach us, the truth rather than try to scare us or
scare tactics or way to marriage.
Because that's the thing too. At least I feel like when I was growing up, they always taught us that sex was like a forbidden thing rather than, if you're going to do it, this is the proper way to do it safely and responsibly. And, for me, it always felt like I have to hide this, or like I can't, if I have a question, I can't ask.
And see, that's the thing. I feel like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I feel like a lot of, if you're not comfortable with talking about it, I went through the same period too, because I just wasn't I was 19 and that's when I lost my virginity, and I'm just up until that point I was just into games, hanging out with my friends. I was a fucking nerd, but when I did have sex, I'm like, well, I know I had sex with a woman, so I lost my virginity to first, and then I'm like, well, I know I like men, I have an interest, and then I did it with a guy, and I'm like, whoa, this is. That was whole phase. That was whole Dion. The night I lost my virginity to a guy, my cousin knew. She knew something was up. My ass was glowing. I was glowing. She was like, where you just come from? And I'm like, oh, nowhere.
Nowhere. Sounds about right.
Because, there's a funny story to that. Because actually, I was at a retake my ACT, and my dumb ass, This is too funny. I decided to go to this guy's house. We hooked up. I ended up like crashing there because we knew each other in high school, and like I had to go to my high school the next day to take my exam. I went in the ACT room and it was just me. I smelled like sex and X. That's all it was. It was disgusting. But guess what, bitch? I came out with a 24. That's
the important part.
Yes. But no, it was being young and not knowing about that and not feeling comfortable talking about it. Because I should have told my cousin right then and there. Yeah, I had sex. It was amazing, but I was so afraid to just say. First off, I had sex with a guy. It was amazing. Second off, like I'm having sex. You know. And of course, my mom was always preaching like, if you're gonna do it protection. But my mom was more or less concerned about protecting yourself from pregnancy, like getting a girl pregnant. You know, was the main thing. Cause my mom wasn't about that life. You know, at least not at the age we were at. But that's why it was kind of hard, or at least on my part. What would you say for you would have been the reason
that it was uncomfortable to talk about?
Yeah.
I think, growing up in kind of like a religious home and, having a conservative, my mom was pretty strict. And just constantly, from the point that I learned what sex is, it was made out to be, like I said, like a bad thing. Like if you do that, like you're going to get in trouble. No, it's amazing.
Sex is amazing.
Especially with the right person.
Know the spark, y'all. Know the spark. That's what it's about. Wait, I gotta do like that cliche.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the life of me. There you
go. Not having that outlet came from that, like thinking I'm gonna get in trouble, or questioning when I started learning, about and started doing things like, am I bad for this, or like, is this wrong? Like, am I gonna get the other person in trouble?
Yeah.
Because, if that's in your head.
So many things running in your head.
Right. That's just the way you see it. And it took me getting out of my mom's house and, having those experiences to break that mold. Yeah. Unfortunately. And what I see from it is I can save other people from those mistakes knowing what I know.
And that's what we're here right now doing. We're talking about it, and we're letting you guys know that you can be fucking amazing. You can be amazing. You can be you. You can be me. You can be doing great things. Like, your condition doesn't condition your life. No. It doesn't condition your future. It doesn't condition anything unless you let it. And we're here to let you know that you shouldn't. It doesn't have to be that way.
Just think about how many successful people, do have HIV or HSV. And
I am Magic Johnson. First off, Magic Johnson, where the money at? Because homeboy looking good. I mean, I'm looking good too, but money does some things. Yeah. Money talks and money works. Cut that part. Don't cut that part. All right, so should I go first, or do you want to go first?
I'll go first. So mine is the Italian flag in honor of my Italian heritage. And then
Italian stallion.
I have a tank top that says that, actually.
Kayla, girl, you got a cousin?
And then this is the bisexual flag. It's just very poorly proportioned. But
I'll put that shit all in their face.
I own it, though. This is me.
Hell yeah.
This is a beautiful painting. Link in bio. I'm just kidding.
You know what you're doing. Mine is a little basic, but it's different than the one I did last time. It's the demisexual flag, that's the purple, me, and then the black, of course, and then just the American, the red, white, and blue, because I'm African American. That's what I identify as, not Black American. You can call Black American. We're not going to go into that today, because that's a whole other story. But we were just talking about asexual and demisexual, because he didn't know what it was, and he was curious, and now that he does know it, I'm leaning on this ottoman because my damn legs hurt. Yeah, I've been sitting on my feet all day. I really have not. I'm being so dramatic. Let's go to the next game. So, guys, again, if you want to help people living with HIV, such as myself, or help people with getting tested, understanding sexual prevention, sexual education, all of those great things, donate to our GoFundMe in the description below. Yep. Can you point down for it? Do it for him. Yep. Below. Go ahead and donate it. Again, we're trying to reach $1,000. Like,
one thing you're wrong about, we will raise $1,000.
Ooh, the confidence. We will raise $1,000. Huh?
We will.
What are you doing? He might get a half off of that one. Yeah.
I know how to get what I want.
Kayla, he got a cousin?
She's gonna love this. Dare.
Ooh, so okay. Alright, so you chose the game. So you get the okay, the game was mutual. Do you want to do the dare?
Yeah, you give me the dare.
Okay. So I'm terrible with these. Well, like last time I made Brittany like balance a paper towel off her head. I dare you to draw. Ooh.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking.
You know my weakness.
I dare you to draw yourself some wings. And then a heart right here.
Okay. Do you
You
have
do
a...
it? Yep.
Yep, let's do it.
Duadness.
Sleep when I get home. She'll kill me.
She's gonna wake up like, who did that terrible makeup
Yep.
on your face? So I got some nice little like generic, little some. He about to.
Wow, I am glowing. You see that?
He already glowing. He about to be glowing a little bit more too, because we about to get some stuff on there. Oh my God, are these like face paint? They look dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. Oh, because it's like.
I could probably still do the wings with this.
To be honest, I'm gonna give myself a little sun. Well, they go pink. All right.
Of course, too, you choose a heart. I've never been able to draw a heart.
So we gotta like do it on here. I'm gonna give myself a heart.
Okay. And by wings, you do mean like eyeliner wings, right?
Oh yes,
okay.
yes. But, See, it ain't coming out on my skin because my dumb ass chose orange. Like, you should have thought about that, Dion.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to get
in there.
Kayla's reaction to this.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
This is not working.
You got to do it though.
I know.
Yep. So tell me about. We wanted to go into rejection. How was dating?
Sorry. Just noticed.
Can't go judge you.
It's fine.
But yeah, how was dating for you?
So.
After you had learned about it. So.
I got HSV in 2015, and then I didn't really try. I took like a year or so. What'd you say?
I said, what am I drawing? Keep going.
I didn't really try for a while. Oh, God.
This is my contour. Oh, God, it's so ugly.
Dude, if something tragic happens and they find me like before I get home, I kind of took some time off and, did what I had to do. And then somebody came along who, was interested in me, and it progressed. And I still couldn't figure out how to communicate, because it was always a thing for me from the moment I got it. I was like, if I ever do date again, I have to tell the person before. I have to tell the person before it gets to that point. And I didn't really know, the timing of that. It's a very time sensitive thing. And you gonna do an ombre on that? Yep.
I'm gonna give myself a little stash. I'm gonna give myself Zorro stash, a little
Oh, there you go.
Zorro.
Trying to think if I should accessorize anyway.
Oh, okay. You're feeling it now, huh?
Some throat tattoos. No, but so it was a learning process. The first couple of people I tried to date, it just ended up becoming too awkward, and I didn't know how to get it out. And then when those moments would happen where there were sexual advances, I just froze.
You didn't know how to react.
Right.
Yeah.
And that made them, that made them feel like it's something with them, or you know, so I had those failures, and then the girl who gave it to me actually came back into my life. We kind of became friends again, and it got to the point,
good.
you know, where it felt like it was getting romantic again, and then that kind of fell apart, which was fine. But you know, I kind of figured, well, this makes sense. You know, I got this thing, I learned some things from it. Now she's back. Like, life is going to be okay because I'm with a person who has the same thing.
Yes. I want to touch on that too. Actually. Yeah, keep going though.
And it really wasn't until, like, my girlfriend now, that was really my first experience of finally saying, like, no, like, I can't lose this person, but I also don't want to put them at a risk that they're not aware of.
Yeah.
You know, so there was that balance of, like, the love and knowing my responsibility, and, you know, it's scary because the reaction they may have, and you called it rejection, and that's interesting because I used to think of it the same way, but what I've kind of learned about that is they're not necessarily rejecting you; they're rejecting the risk that comes with being with you. And that, you know, and that can change with education and things like that. You know, because maybe they do see it as something that is not, or they do have those misconceptions.
Yeah.
But you know, they could genuinely really like you and want to be with you, but if that's not something they're willing to have come with that, you know, you can respect them for that.
You can. I wasn't taking rejection very well because it's like being in a classroom or being in gym, and then, like, you know, you want someone to pick you. You know, that's what we want, someone to love us the way we want to be loved. You know,
that's exactly how it feels. Yeah.
And it's like when no one's not picking you, you're like, fuck, like, I know what's wrong with me. It's because of my condition. It's because I'm positive, and I got a lot of that rejection. And honestly, that, like, drove so deep in my mind because when I was getting involved with people who did like me, I was having such a hard time being intimate.
Yeah.
Because I was like, like, I can't even allow myself to be vulnerable, to be okay with this, that we can have sex and you know, there's risk, but we're acting responsibly.
I was just laughing at our
we gotta laugh. Like, it is legit, like, straight up funny. I feel like I'm off of, like, Naruto. Like, I got, like, the little do, but, like, this is, like, throwing people off into, like, the purple. Like, I got, like, this was a dare. Again, guys, go ahead and donate in the description below, the GoFundMe. We are going to raise $1,000 by Friday, and if we can do that, I will be getting glammed up. It will be looking much better than this, honey. Much better.
We'll have some professionals.
Yeah, we definitely will. We'll have his girlfriend. She is professional, and she knows what she...
The girl who gave it to me, like, when I confronted her on it, if that kind of counts as that same discussion, she tried to deny it and say that, like, I gave it to her. And, like, she had no idea and all this other stuff. And then she, like, put me on blast on Twitter. And, like, there was a drama. It wasn't just an uncomfortable...
Wow.
Like, but,
so it got, like, social media big. Wow.
Yeah. Like, I got, like, death threats from, like, other dudes that she had, like, slept with.
Wow.
And stuff.
Like, they legit were, like, coming to you, like, hey, like...
Yeah, like, a guy literally said he's gonna come kill me.
Like, I think we went through, honestly, like, the similar path.
Oh, yeah?
If anything, like, the same kind of result, if you will, I guess. Because that happened to me. Like, I found out about my status. I went to the person thinking, like, I can find comfort and consolement. And that wasn't the case. Like, he had graduated that semester, that week, actually, that I found out about my status. And then he actually had, like, boasted to his friends. It was kind of like he got to people before I, like, could tell my story. And it wasn't until, like, up until, like, a couple of months ago that I was able to tell my side of the story. Like, my friends knew, but, like, no one knew my story. And I think that's just so fucked up. It's so fucked up. And social media, it can really fuck with you. Like, honestly, it drives you away. And I think, actually, I ended up, like, deleting my, like, all my social media at that point. I was just like, no, I can't do this.
And that's something that made me wonder was, it's an interesting perspective to think about the people who you know, we got transmitted from. At one point, they were in our same shoes. Someone gave it to them. So I kind of wonder the people who are negative about it like that, and they don't care about communicating it, and they don't care about the people that they hurt.
Yeah.
How did they take it when it happened to them? You know.
Yeah.
Just an interesting thought. I never really found an answer to that, but
Like kind of like how they reacted to it,
right?
When they found out about themselves.
Right, because I wonder if they processed it differently because they didn't handle it like responsibly.
I see what you're saying. That is kind of a tricky one because, like, if you think about it, it does happen. If you're not getting educated and things like that, there is a potential to share it, and there are laws that are a felony for not sharing that information.
Right.
So it's always kind of like, where are you at in your mind space? And I think more importantly, to be honest, is just not being okay with it, but being able to talk about it, because that's how you're gonna go forward and heal, to heal. I wanted to make sure I touched on everything else. I talked about dating a little bit, but dating's always a weird one.
Yeah.
I feel like dating just, even as a guy, it's kind of hard too. I'm not as of a straight guy, but like I still like women.
Yeah.
But I think just dating in that realm, when I found out, was just like hard because I'm like, oh man, like I'm bisexual and like I have HIV. Like how can I tell this to another guy or another girl? And that conversation is always it gets easier, but it's never like
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Like,
It's never a
like,
breeze.
it's like, oh man, like there's a potential that this won't work out, and I think it's because of, and it's not even a fear of rejection. I think it's at the point of like, I like this person.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different factors in there with that. You know, it's like you're afraid of losing them, and it's like I said, there's that balance that you kind of learn with like,
I want some more purple.
Respect for them and knowing how it feels, and all those things. So do you want me to talk a little bit more? Because I didn't really get into detail with dating.
Yeah, go for it. Well,
I was fortunate enough that all those little rejections built me up for when I did get the right person, and I had to talk to her.
I love that, how you just phrased that. I love that. That's amazing. Keep going, sorry.
No, you're good. It like really prepared me for that victory, so to speak. 'Cause that's what it felt like. It was like, I love her so much and I don't want to lose her, but I also know that this isn't my choice to make. She needs to know the truth. And I think it was timed really right. Like we got time to know each other. I personally think, there's certain things that we wouldn't say on a first date, like certain traumas and stuff.
Yeah.
Get to know the person, because you're not leading them on. That was something I struggled with, is I was like, oh my God, am I leading this person on by not telling them? And then like they like me and then I hurt them and they feel like I lied to them, and so much overthinking. But, bottom line, it doesn't define you, and you deserve an honest chance for that person to get to know you. And they deserve an honest chance to base their decision off how they feel about you.
Yes.
So my general rule that I developed was, when it gets to the point where you guys are getting physical and you know that any time now you're gonna have sex, I wouldn't wait until that's happening, because then that can be kind of
that's gonna be like so bad. It just looks bad on you.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it gets to the point of physical escalation like that, or you see that coming in the near future, that's when I would sit down and be like, this is my story, just tell them the truth of what happened. And another part with that, I think, is you should be honest about your feelings, but the way you present it to them is going to tell them a lot about the severity of it,
Yeah.
If you're like completely freaked out, they're going to think it's a big deal, when if you calmly tell them about it and you're like, this is how I manage it, like, these are a lot of the things that people don't understand about it.
Yep.
they're gonna see that in you, and they're gonna be like, okay,
Yeah, he's taking care of himself.
he's taking care of himself.
Managing
Like,
everything. I don't have to worry about anything.
right.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about.
Mhm.
And then for her personally,
That's
like,
the most important too.
her main concern was like our ability to have children in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So she, I encouraged her to do her research and take her time and make a decision,
Mm-hmm.
And she found out that it doesn't have any effect on that, and so that's why she decided, what we have together is worth more than a condition that I have.
Yeah.
And the possibility that she could get it. So remember, it's all preparing you for it.
My victory.
Yep.
That victory.
Back to your question about the cure, if like they ever developed a cure,
Yeah.
I would take it. But if you asked me if I could go back and have this never happen to me, I wouldn't say no,
Mm-hmm.
because I learned so much about myself
Yes.
and about other people with conditions and acceptance and communicating and teaching others from my experiences, that I would not give up that growth just to not have something that's so manageable and it's not a big deal.
And that's like one of the many things that we try to learn about with other people. It's kind of like, what are the things? What's your walk of life? What's your path of life, or walk of life? I think is how it's phrased, and kind of tell me about it. And I think because of those parts where it seems like it's the darkest part in your story, it makes you the most strongest person. Because I look back at that period and I'm like, I wouldn't want to change it. I agree with you, because it just made me such a strong person. If anything, I faced a challenge and I look back at that, I'm like, that would be the thing that I conquered.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about people's motives, discernment within myself, and my motives too.
I think in some of the darkest places we can find, some of the most beautiful things hidden.
Mm.
And you're not going to see that if you don't go into the dark at some point.
Follow the dark. Go into fear. Walk in the face of fear. Like,
well,
seriously.
really, because like the basis of fear is when we don't understand something. If a little kid is afraid of a monster under their bed, they don't understand what that monster's intentions are. I feel like you've taken something away from this.
I did. I hope you guys did too, because I'm like, man, like I'm gonna go back and edit this. I'm like, wow, like damn, James on some real shit. Like,
I came to enlighten.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, man. I actually hug her too.
Oh yeah,
bring it in. So, guys, thank you so much for watching my episode. I would say our episode. Who cares? Inclusive, right? Watching our episode. This is Dusty Lion, and this is the awesome James. And don't forget to donate in the description below. Bye. Peace out.